We begin tonight with the race to be the next German Chancellor. Germans go to the polls this fall to elect a new government, and after 16 years as Chancellor, Angela Merkel will not be running again. Now her CDU party and its Bavarian sister party, the CSU, are trying to choose between two candidates, the man preferred by the power brokers and the man preferred by the people.
Armin Laschet versus Markus Söder. The race to be the next Conservative candidate to run for German Chancellor is turning into an old-fashioned power struggle. On Sunday, the two men agreed the decision should come soon and to respect it whoever is chosen. But less than a day later, battle lines seem to have been drawn. On Monday morning, Armin Laschet, the recently elected CDU leader, held meetings with his party's executive. And, not really a surprise, they backed him to be the candidate. The man himself sounded impatient to get out on the campaign trail. Everyone wants a decision soon. All the facts are on the table. The problems we need to solve are so big that we should no longer be preoccupied with our internal party issues, but rather with the major tasks that lie ahead for Germany today, tomorrow, this week, and in the coming months. But by Monday afternoon, Markus Söder, head of the smaller Bavarian CSU, had the backing of his party leadership. He thinks the Conservatives should ponder the candidate question a bit longer. Not only is he personally more popular than Laschet, he also claims to stand for a style of politics that people want. The Conservatives have never fallen out of favour with voters so quickly before. Polls aren't everything, but they're a clear indication of what the public is thinking, and we can't cut ourselves off from the majority of people. What Söder needs now is public support from the wider Conservative parties, perhaps from members of Parliament worried about losing their jobs if the wrong man leads them into the national election in September. If those voices do not materialise, it seems very likely Christian Democrat Armin Laschet will be the choice to seize the baton when Angela Merkel leaves the Chancellery later this year.
And for more now, I'm joined by our political correspondent, Simon Young. He's covering this story for us tonight. Good evening to you, Simon. I can imagine people watching from the outside would ask themselves, if Angela Merkel has been in power for 16 years, why is there not a clear Conservative candidate emerging to be her successor? What's the answer?
Brett, it's a very good question. I think Angela Merkel has stood back from this contest so far, and indeed, during her chancellorship, she's been in the habit of clearing contenders for her job out of the way. She hasn't got out of that habit towards the end of her time. And so, in other words, there's no Crown Prince, there's no obvious successor, and she's allowing these two figures to battle it out right now. It's interesting. Armin Laschet has been seen as close to Merkel in the past. He's been at pains to sort of separate himself from the Chancellor in recent months, to be his own man, strike out on his own, to the extent that Merkel and Laschet have sort of fallen out somewhat, particularly over how tough Corona lockdowns should be. He's drifted off in that direction. Markus Söder, for his part, has always, stood aloof. The Bavarians down in Munich, they see things a little bit differently, they like to say, and so he's always been his own man. He's pushing in from the other side. So I think Merkel is not involved in this race. She hasn't tipped it either way, and as a result, she's just letting things play out.
And the polls show that Markus Söder, the governor from Bavaria, he's more popular among the German public than Armin Laschet. And yet today, the leadership of the CDU Conservative Party voted for Laschet. Why?
Well, I think they wanted to give their backing to their man. Armin Laschet was just chosen as the chairman of the CDU party back in January, so he's got a certain amount of impetus within the party. I think there's a feeling from the CDU that they are the larger of these two parties, and they should have the priority, particularly in big decisions like who's going to be the candidate to run for the nation's top political office. this. So that's why they wanted to, I think, to just sort of clear this question, clear the air as they probably saw it. And Markus Söder had indicated yesterday that he possibly would go along with such a decision. This evening he's made it clear that he won't.
And we've come down to this duel. We've got two contenders now. When can we expect to know who the Conservative candidate will be?
Well, Markus Söder says, you know, we should think about this for a few more days. We should listen to what different sections of the party are saying, members of parliament and local party associations, and have a good think about how we can get up above where we are now in the polls, perhaps on the wrong side of 30% in latest polls. He says we can do better than that. He's obviously hoping that a few people will come out and support him. And if they do in the next 24, 48 hours, this debate could go on to the end of the week and possibly longer.
All right, our political correspondent Simon Young with the latest tonight from Berlin. Simon, as always, thank you.